Alright, I intend on this being a series of sorts, but for now, we'll start with one thing. This is my car. It's a 1997 Ford Escort. Base model. Peel and clear coat. Sun damage. Paint transfer from some accidents. Not involving me, of course. Now this is what one might call an extremely slow car. However, I have always been a fan of this platform. I think it's so cute. First thing I ever did to this car was strap on this little tag here that my buddy gave me from an airplane he flew once, and I thought that was really cool, so I put it on there. And ever since then, I've been absolutely in love with this car. Now, biggest issues with building something like this are ride height. First off, it's incredibly high. Second, these wheels, literally like 4-inch wheels. It's also on these steelies, which are super ugly. Curb rash on there too. So, if I ever intend on making power, we'll almost certainly need some thicker wheels, and probably to lower the suspension here a little bit. Now I've got a plan for that, of course, but the primary thing to do is to maybe start getting it to look better first. Now, the first thing I ever did to this car, modification wise, was slice the exhaust off. So now we have this tacky thingy, and there's nothing there. You will note, however, I have begun the fabrication of a very ugly but effective solution to that problem. After getting exhaust sorted out, the best second step, and the natural one, of course, would be a new intake of some kind. It's extremely loud currently, and I think that would be a good place to start. Getting a sound check going, but I'm not too interested in pissing anybody off yet, so we're gonna leave it alone for now. I also do have an aftermarket radio in this thing. I just recently fixed an overheating problem. The roof happens to be falling down just a little bit. These sun visors are brand new from what I imagine to be somebody else's car. There's some charm with crank windows that do still function even after damn near 30 years. This mirror is actively falling off, but I've just been ignoring it, so don't ignore that kind of problem. But I'm ready to start her up. I won't rev it, because I don't want to rev it right now, but it's pretty loud. Sometimes it chops, like right now. I'm not really sure what that issue is caused by, but now, some things I do have my eyes on, my sights on at least, are a new intake of some kind, a new suspension of some kind. There's also no tint. Absolute fishbowl of a vehicle. We've got a lot going on here, you know. It doesn't even have a trunk release. You know, you got to put the key in all by yourself. Take it out, jump starter, it's got a spare tire in there. Now, primary reasons why this car is so difficult to build and why no one does it is because, well, it's impractical. The first issue most people trying to build a vehicle like this run into, the engine. The split port induction 2000 SPI is an awful engine from Ford. Now, the only reason I ever even considered building this thing was because this bad boy is huge. You'll note this is an absolutely gargantuan factory airbox for this small of an engine. That was what made me think, well, maybe this will be an interesting car to build. But further research shows me that it is absolutely not an interesting car to build. First thing we will note, this car is about 1 in 12 of this catastrophic engine issue of dropping valve seats. You have no way to know if your car is going to be one of those Fords that does that. If it does, it's over for you, pretty much. It destroys, well, first thing it destroys is the head, the head. Then it destroys the block, as well as the piston that the valve falls into. This is due to some sort of factory manufacturing problem. Second thing, old car stuff. Engine mounts are almost all cracking down there, and they're incredibly difficult to change. Cracking rubber. This is I believe a crankcase ventilation hose. It's cracked. It was a huge vacuum leak, and it made it run horribly. Now, the issues with actually making power. The valve seat problem, of course. But another issue is this car happens to be just ridiculously hard to build due to, well, mainly 2 valves. 1 valve per for intake and 1 valve for exhaust. So it's really hard to build. You know, there's a lot of things you don't have to worry about though. This is an aluminum intake manifold for some reason. It's single cam engine. It is like I mentioned before, single valve, which greatly restricts airflow without the use of something like a turbo or something of the sort. Some benefits. This particularly would be pretty simple. This is essentially where the factory airbox lives, just a little bit more over here. So this doesn't actually meet the bumper, but you could totally move it down in further, but I would just get a whole new intake. So it's really hard to build, right? The engine bay is tiny, so there's no room for anything really. So you gotta be careful. Fuel filter, mine has not been changed in 28 years. This transmission also sucks. The gearing sucks. It's not a good automatic. It loves to brake damn near every place it can. You'll also notice we have a small valve cover leak. So there's oil literally everywhere on this engine. So it leaks oil. You will notice the entire strut assembly absolutely destroyed, cracked, horrible. These things creak like a little bastard. We also might be losing a CV axle. That thing is really hard to get to and incredibly difficult to change for a car this small. It's not the worst engine Ford built this year. Some worse things built on the Escort platform include the Contour. I don't love the Contour as much. It doesn't have the charm that the Escort did. So you got your antennas here rather than on the back here, which I think is just more fun, you know what I mean? So it's a horrible car to build, but I love the look of it, and I'm tired of bullying it as if I would never be able to build it. I would love to hear opinions on this vehicle. And if you think I should actually build something like this, I think it would be incredibly unique and interesting to see what I could do. First things first, probably some weight reduction, if at all possible, to make a little more room to add modifications and stuff, you know. Weight reduction for sure. Before I do power mods, I would love to get a new head installed in this thing to make it so that those factory valve seats, which love to blow out, don't do that. I'd love for that to happen. So probably honestly first, a new head that has good valve seats. Second, a little weight reduction, just a little bit. Third, maybe some slightly bigger wheels. I've seen people do 16s. I believe these are 11s, so I don't really know how they do that, but I would love for the tires to be thicker for more grip, less revolutions for more distance. Bigger wheels. That's the thing. I want bigger wheels. I also would love prettier wheels. Not these Steelies with these ugly hubcaps. Yeah. But those are later thoughts. First thing you have to do is get the engine in proper working order. Now, the great thing is, it's an iron block. So the block is pretty strong, but the head is the killer, you know? So you have to be careful. The engines are resilient if you take care of them. Routine oil changes and stuff. I just really think it would be cool. I've never seen someone build a car like this. You have a ton of clearance up here, 3-4 inches of clearance above this tire. You'll also notice factory strut assembly is wrecked. Anyways, this is the start of this new YouTube channel, and I would love to find out a way to have people tell me what they thought. Good car choice, bad car choice, pretty car choice, ugly car choice. I want your opinions. Should I build it? Should I try to build it? Should I not? Let me know. And what do you think would be cool?